So, I'm currently in a philosophy class nowadays, and I just recently finished watching a movie called Waking Life. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that, but it's an interesting thing. And it's opened my mind to a lot of things, and I'm just basically going to discuss this and throw out some ideas and, just wonder what you guys are thinking about. So, what I was thinking about was it discusses a lot of your dream world and of what you dream. And one point that really stuck out in my mind was in real life, hallucinations are caused by inhibitors not working properly. See, in your brain, you have these inhibitors which stop you from every time you think a bad thought, like a scary thought, like a demon or something, it doesn't make it real because these inhibitors stop the hallucination from happening before your eyes, right? Because you're thinking it, but you don't see it. So that's why these, people who get hallucinations from high temperatures or whatever, they get these hallucinations. And it was talking about how in your dream world, these hallucinations, the inhibitors are inhibited while you're in REM sleep. So in that idea, it was mainly about what's stopping hallucinations. And if we can make those hallucinations real, can we make anything real? And like, what's the what's the difference between the waking world and the real world? Like what's real and what's not real? Is real stuff that you can touch? Is it stuff you can feel or smell? Well, it's like, what if there's inhibitors inhibiting us from even seeing that or feeling that? What if there's inhibitors by a god or anything that's stopping us from truly seeing what is real, or what's real and what's the waking world? Like, what if we're in some big dream right now? What if I'm talking to a bunch of people who are just in my dream, and I think that you guys are all real, and maybe you guys just think maybe I'm a dream character, and maybe not. Maybe you guys are real too, and maybe I'm real, and maybe none of us are real. I'm not here to give you answers. I'm here to open your eyes and make you think about stuff. So, I was thinking about that, and also thinking a lot about what happens when you do die. And this movie brought us up the point that you are constantly in a dream state. Because when you dream, I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but when you dream, you can save the world, and you'll wake up and it'll be 15 minutes later than when you started sleeping, and yet you've done all this stuff in your dream. So, to that extent, why can't we do that in our waking life, if this even is our waking life? Time is time just a manipulation of some form of other entity to keep us from excelling to our maximum potential? Is time a barrier of our mind? If we are able to break down this barrier, what are we able to do? There's also an interesting point about society, and how we as humans, we have lost all of our human touch. It seems nowadays when you pass someone, walking down the street, you glance at them for a second, or you don't, and then you walk away, and you've just passed someone who has had their own challenges and troubles for all of their life, and they just walk past yours like it was nothing. It seems like we're just ants, feeling with our feelers and just moving on, following a scent trail, like zombies, to job or to school or whatever. We don't stop and talk to that person who we passed and ask them about their ideas or everything, because we don't have time in our life to talk to every person. So we selectively choose who we do talk to. And it's just, are we human? Are we human anymore? Because we seem to be a set of zombies following a scent trail of money, work, and following what society tells us. And it makes me wonder if we have evolved to de-evolve, you know? If we have evolved and made all these fine technologies, we have evolved so much that we ourselves are surpassed, and therefore we are starting to lose what makes us us, and what makes humans human. Are we so surpassed that we don't even realize it? And maybe, society is taking over, and we will become but mindless slaves if we become the machines. Are we the machines? Do we ever have our own thoughts? Do we ever act on what we think? But in the end, does it matter? If we die and we are in a never-ending dream, we're able to do anything. But who's to say this isn't a dream right now, What if there's a dream inside a dream, Anything's possible. What if it is a dream, but we just don't know the limitations because we've been in the dream since forever? So we don't know what the barriers are. Or what if, physics is the barriers, or our mind is the barriers? It's deep stuff to think about. I don't know. I was just hoping to spark a conversation in the comments, because I got all this stuff swirling around my head, and I don't know what you guys think. So leave a comment, or I want you guys to discuss this, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but tell me why. Alright, thanks guys.